Hi there, I'm Edd China and What Car have asked me to talk to you about vans. Now I've owned loads of vans over the years to help me with all my workshop projects, but today I'm here to guide you towards the vans you should be looking at while avoiding any rotten eggs along the way. Now before we get into that, do me a quick favour and like and subscribe below, and that way you won't miss any new videos from me or from the lovely people at What Car. And so to this, the Volkswagen Multivan. Now Volkswagen are by no means new to the people carrier game, having already been building the Caddy, the Caravelle and the Touran minivans for decades. But the Multivan is its next generation family hauler, trying to fuse the Caravelle's practicality with the driving experience of the Golf hatchback. But has Volkswagen pulled it off? Well, in today's review, we'll take you through what the Multivan is like to drive, what it's like to live with, but also how it fares against its rather strong rivals, things like the Ford Tourneo Custom, Mercedes V-Class and Toyota ProAce Verso. The Volkswagen Multivan shares its underpinnings with the Golf family car, which means you get a choice of 4 engines, 2 petrol, 1 diesel and a plug-in hybrid. Now the 1.5 litre engine isn't that swift, but it is more efficient than the more punchy 2 litre engine which we're driving now. It's very punchy indeed. The plug-in hybrid version, called the e-hybrid, has 215 brake horsepower and an electric range of around 30 miles. That's all pretty good, but you'll have to keep in mind that this version has a smaller fuel tank than the regular petrol and diesels, meaning more frequent trips to the pumps if you're not making the most of the electric power. Speaking of those batteries, you can go from 0 to 100% charge in 6 hours with a 3-pin domestic socket, or within 4 hours with a wall box. As for handling, the Multivan's pretty good compared with most similar sized vans, and inspires much more confidence than the Ford Tourneo Custom or Toyota ProAce Verso. The Multivan rides pretty well too, isolating the shock caused by deep potholes, but the suspension can send a bit of a racket through the interior when you go over larger bumps. The driving position of the Multivan is actually pretty comfortable, with nice supportive seats and great visibility all round, particularly because of these nice little see-through A-pillars. You'll notice that the dashboard's lined with lots of hard plastics, but they've at least been given lots of different textures. That lifts the overall feel a bit and helps separate the Multivan from more agricultural vans like the Toyota ProAce Verso. A 10-inch infotainment touchscreen and digital instrument panel make things feel a touch posher, but one drawback is that the touchscreen's a bit of a pain to use, especially compared with the one in the Volkswagen Touran people carrier. Also, the touch-sensitive controls at the bottom of the screen for the aircon and the volume aren't actually backlit, so you can't really see them very well at night. You get lots of equipment for your money and also lots of safety gear, including automatic emergency braking, traffic sign recognition and lane keeping assistance are all included as standard. The Multivan seats split into 3 rows, and each of them gets plenty of cubbies for all of your gear. The middle row can actually slide backwards and forwards, can actually tilt and recline. You also get the cup holders there, and even can be spun round so you can actually have the seat around the other way. Very handy. In the back, the 3rd row can either be specified as a 3-seat bench or as 2 individual chairs. Either way, you've got plenty of headroom, but also you can actually move the 2nd row forwards, and that gives you a bit more legroom than in a regular MPV. Another nice little feature is the centre console can be slid all the way to the back of the vehicle, which is very handy. It just makes for even more practicality. The only major letdown is the boot space, or rather the lack of it. With the 3rd row of seats in the upright position, you actually would struggle to get a full-size pram, or a bulky one at least, into the Multivan. You do at least get this little shelf here, which means you could stack the luggage vertically rather than lengthways. If you need all of the seats and a bit more cargo space, then there is a long version of the Multivan available. And of course, that's the one to go for if you want to carry loads of people and loads of kit at the same time. There's no doubting that the Volkswagen Multivan is pretty impressive as far as van-based family haulers go. It's practical, it's comfortable, and it drives better than most of its rivals. And add to that it's not that much more expensive than those rivals for the same spec, then it definitely gets the Edd Factor seal of approval. And it gets 4 stars from What Car. Now if you want to see more van reviews from me, then subscribe to the What Car YouTube channel. You'll see each of my new reviews as soon as they're released, and in between you'll also get to watch other reviews by the lovely people at What Car. And if you can't wait for your next van fix, head to whatcar.com and click on the van section to see all of our latest van news, advice and reviews.